good evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. Interesting night tonight. We're gonna have a discussion on the state of Olympus, which will basically mean what is going on in America, what is going on with the politicians, what's going on with the Democrats, what's going on with the Republicans. January 6th, last week, we all saw something that will appear to the naked eye that it seems like that has never happened again. But history teaches us that that has happened before. If you read some history, you'll know that it has been things happen in the Capitol before. But this generation and probably the generation before just don't remember it or know the history about it. But got Brian and Tariq with me. Seagrooms will hopefully join us soon. And I'm gonna ask you guys your initial reaction to what you guys saw last week. What is that?
You go ahead, Tariq.
I was flabbergasted. That shit was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. And then the more I watched it, I started getting mad because like how long it takes. Like I wanted them checked. I wanted them checked hard. And the more I watched it, the more I got like I was mad. I was like, so it was crazy. It was hard to believe when you was watching it.
Yeah, I think it was very shocking. I wasn't expecting it to take off the way that it did. I knew he had a very strong presence with his group, and I know that they really follow a lot of the things that he did. But and we'll get to whether I think he incited anything or anything like that. But I did not foresee that happening. I couldn't believe it when people would start. I was on Twitter at the time, and I started hearing people were storming the Capitol, and I'm thinking, it was just a lot of people walking down to the Capitol, and I actually got on and I started seeing clips of people jumping walls and all types of madness. It was very shocking, but I guess not at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Nah.
Me myself, not saying that I was not surprised, but like I said, that Saturday I had seen that Nancy Pelosi's house had got vandalized.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually spoke about it and I said that this wasn't good. And then a couple people was like, they should have got McConnell. And then the next day it came out that McConnell's house got vandalized too. I mean, whatever side of the spectrum you are on as far as your political affiliation, or if you are independent, uh, when you start attacking them physically or verbally, I think that's going a little too far. I know that politics in this country has really gotten polarized, and that's really what I want to talk about.
Right.
Is the polarization. So I really wasn't surprised. I mean, I'm more of the type of person I like to sit back and watch things unfold before I'm quick to say anything. With that being said, I was one of those people that was shocked at the reaction towards him. And the reason why is because when you look at his transcripts and the words that he said things 10 times worse. But the reaction, I guess, because of doing what they did, it was more like you keep seeing people when they react, and then it's like it was real finally for the politicians. I guess their life, they finally understood they were scared that their life was in danger. So now they were like, oh, SHIT is real.
All right.
Let me get serious. So
Listen.
I just wanted to ask you guys, and hopefully Seagroom's getting, just your thoughts on that, your thoughts on going forward with the inauguration. I know that they talk about they're going to try to have a vote for impeachment on Wednesday. What the purpose of impeachment is and why they want to impeach him. And even with Twitter and Facebook and all these accounts being going on, which I take issue to, but we could talk about that a little later, a later with. So whatever one of y'all got some thoughts on whatever I said, or you got some thoughts that I didn't say. Definitely talk about it.
So listen, I got the pen out. So the first thing I noticed was that you said they didn't think, you check his transcripts, right? And this dude been violating all the institutions, including his own office, with whatever he wanted to do or whatever he thought he could get away with. And they was always talking about, oh, well, that's just him and finding reasons. But guess what? When he came for them, when he came for their halls of justice, they had a much bigger problem with that.
Yeah.
When it was the FBI, they was fine with it. Everybody else, they was fine with it. But when he came for them, it was a problem. And that was some real foreshadowing, the way you were saying how they went for Nancy one day, then Mitch the next day, and they let them know everybody was on the list.
I mean, one of the things, I mean, and I don't consider myself to be the most astute person when it comes to politics. I'm actually what I would consider is just a novice person that just watches what's going on. Definitely with these platforms to just have a discussion. Personally, I'm an independent. I'm a registered independent. Y'all both know that I speak and I try to hold the Democratic Party accountable. And the only reason why I do that is because majority of my people, black people, vote Democratic. That's the only reason. I mean, at the end of the day, if we talk about politics, I believe that nobody is going to have an exact perfect politician. But the thing is, I wanted to ask you guys: do you think that the polarization just started with Trump, or it started from both parties prior?
No, I think Trump has been a polarizing figure positively in our community at one time and negatively now. I mean, it's weird how far he's gone. Like again, we have people in our community, especially entertainers, who have tried to live in his buildings. They've wrote about him in songs. They've done all of the things. They've lived the Playboy lifestyle that he lived, and they mimic that. That's what I really meant to say. And it's just interesting to see how far he's gone to the others. Well, what people feel like, what they're being. I feel a lot of them are being told to, because again, we look at a lot of the moves that you just said. None of this stuff was like, as far as he's done some stuff you really like. I don't care who you support. You're looking at it like, oh man, I wouldn't have said that, or I wouldn't have carried it like that. And from that, I was pretty mild. If I can't even really find a better word. It was pretty mild. I mean, he was campaigning, but he wasn't really. I don't think he was really trying to get him going like that. And I think, like I said, it's just seeing that how people view him nowadays is just what drives anything that he does. It doesn't matter if it's good or if it's bad. Just they interpret him to be, like I said, how the magnitude of what he is, negative or positive, that's how people view him. And I think that's an interesting point. Go ahead.
I know that Tariq, me and you had talked a lot prior to the election, and we used to laugh with the mantra that the Democratic Party was saying, like anybody but Trump, and how that alone was dangerous. Like, are y'all serious?
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people get upset when you don't agree with that slogan. You don't agree with anybody but Trump, and majority of the time, and it's interesting. He really never had any policies in his 40
Right.
years. He really never had no
Right.
no major policies what I would say would be the detriment of the majority of people. I mean, his whole 4 years of presidency has basically been like, as Brian said, a campaign.
All right.
I'm gonna reverse the Affordable Care Act. He never came up with an Affordable Care Act. It was always an investigation, collusion. It was always a tax, and it was basically always him and the Democrats beefing over this. The only thing that we can honestly say that really benefited everybody was the First Step Act. That was a bipartisan act that he signed that was going on behind the scenes during President Obama's presidency, and then he finally signed it once the bipartisan legislators brought it to him.
Right. I think not to piggyback. I'm sorry to cut you off, Tariq, but
No,
about what you were saying too. You know, it's crazy that I've been reading into why they would want to get him impeached and what the necessary reason would be right now. He's up out there like 9 days, right? Something like that. 8 or 9 days. And me and C Grooms had a little, not a back and forth, but we were just bouncing it off of each other. And this is foreshadowing what's about to happen for the next 4 years. Like, they're not doing anything, right? And I think that they know that he would get back in. I really believe that. I really believe in my heart that they think they got to get him out of the way, because if he comes back, he would probably win in 2024, because they don't plan on doing anything. Okay, they don't plan on all of the things that they said they do: affordable health care, clean energy. All of that stuff is out the window. Even the stimulus money and all of that stuff is going to be out of the window in a few days, and there's nothing we can do about it. But if we don't get him out the way, there's nobody for him to run against in 2024. Like, he would probably beat these guys again in 2024.
What's your
I
thoughts,
don't think
Tariq?
he would. I think he killed himself. He overplayed. And to me, it's a classic overplaying your hand. I just think he overplayed his hand. I think he really, as more information come out, I think it's a couple of things. He is the blind, and he's the blind leading, and they ain't so blind. They know what they want to do.
Right.
And his little talking points where he's influencing them, but he don't really understand these people. All he knows is they like him, right? That's his drive. Oh, they like me. Let me get behind them. Let me support them. I don't know if he really understands what these people are about. I really don't.
Do you mean his
when he said, "Let's
base?
walk up to the Capitol," yeah.
Okay.
And when he said, "Let's
Tariq,
walk up to the Capitol," I don't know if he really realized those. There's a degree to it where it says he had to know, because they show evidence of coordination with people at the Capitol, right?
yeah.
That
I don't
dude
know if
ain't
he
do-
thought
that
they
dude
was
ain't
going
do
again.
nothing.
Tariq, one thing that I always say about him, which is why I believe that he's one of the most polarizing figures that ever lived right now, and because if you look at, and this ties into what I said about social media. If you look at what he done, he came from reality star, businessman. People would say he was a failed businessman. He was a businessman. He went to the reality TV. He became the president because he was President Obama's number one troll on social media. He trolled him to the point where he spoke to a base of people that disagree with what President Obama and his agenda was about. So he basically, what we would say is he grounded up a groundswell of the minority of people, which, shoot, 74 million people believed in him and they voted for him. One of the things the reason why I agree with you, Tariq, is I listened to what he said twice. Then I read the whole transcripts, and I'm like, when did he say storm the Capitol? He didn't say that. He said we're gonna go down to the Capitol. Okay, now we know words are very powerful words.
Yes.
We was taught that as kids growing up. I'm quite sure Brian been telling his son that even to this day. Son, be careful how you say things because words are powerful. So I think that the agitators, like I told Tariq Brian behind the scenes, that
Okay.
my personal belief with all this stuff is, and this may not be the most popular opinion. If you look at some people in the Democratic Party, they're saying that he's fascist. If you look at some people in the Republican Party, they're saying they're Marxists. They're really not listening to each other.
Nope.
Everybody, in my opinion, I just, and I could be naive because I know that I'm naive. Everybody in America, American people, they all basically want the same thing. They just want to go to work, take care of their family, be able to take care of their family, blase this, blase that. But instead of the polarization, and I spoke about this in the group, when you tell voters, either side, you have to vote for my guy, democracy depends on it. Your freedom is at risk. You've been instilling fear in people for the last how many years about the boogeyman or the boogie people on that side.
Right.
One of the things that I noticed with the rhetoric that comes from particularly the Democratic side, when they speak about Republicans, the first thing they do is they do what the people did to the black people in the 60s. They say they're dumb, they're stupid.
You don't understand.
They lack the capability to understand. I'm like, the rhetoric they use, and this is why I'm so careful with understanding the words. Like the word now is insurgent. These are words, these are war words.
Right. Right.
These are words that you call an enemy of the state.
Right. Yeah. Enemy or a crime, right.
And we seen some of the footage. Actually, I got some I want you guys to check out. I got something.
But here's the thing about your thing about polarization, Q, and how people demonize and start viewing each other. Like what you said, like most people just want to go to work and be happy and take care of their family. Like honestly, like if he a Republican, he ain't the devil. If he's a Democrat, he ain't an angel. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that comes from I know I got this point of view, and it's a general type of thing. I think it's more good people in the world than bad people, right? I think overall people have good intentions more than they have bad intentions. I don't know how I could function in the world if I didn't really, if I believe in God, I gotta believe that, right? I gotta believe that He put more good people here than bad people here. But once you get into politics, you just start looking at people like they evil, right? And a thing about this Trump thing is that everybody don't understand. They're like, oh, we're gonna put him down. You can't put him down when he got 50% of the country behind him, right? And then they like, well, fuck him. Like, no, not fuck him. They just sheep. They sheep just like you, right? All y'all just fighting for the man. And those people is like the prison thing, right? Okay, he a Republican, he lost. He's done. We can never do anything with him. It's like prison. You put him away and then they're no more good to society. We still need these people in society. So how you gonna rehabilitate them? How you gonna rehabilitate the relationship? How you gonna learn? We start thinking we gotta get along with everybody. We start thinking we gotta like everybody. We all thinking everybody gotta agree with us. You know what I mean? Like one thing you said, like the perfect politician. He don't exist.
Right.
The motherfucker, he gonna get in office and he gonna start doing stuff that somebody don't like, that you don't like the person that you like. Oh, if Bernie would have won this and that. Like, yo, Bernie would have got in and did bullshit too. They all gonna do bullshit when they get in there.
I would ask you guys, I got this clip, right? And when I see this clip, I couldn't help but laugh. And it's not taking sides. I try to be down the middle because that's my personal belief, is to be down the middle. But what you guys think about this?
Will not give up.
Yeah! You better lay down your weapons!
And next.
I need your thoughts, Brian.
That was interesting. I never saw that. Whew, well, where do we start? I think that was a crazy clip. I think looking at it, right? I don't know. See, this is what I'm thinking about this whole thing too, right? Now we were talking about agitators and all of this, right? Most of those people, right? Don't they seem like they're not docile, but they're not, I don't know, man. I don't want this to come out wrong. Like
One of
sympathizing.
the gentlemen said, as we were coming out, next time we come back, we won't be peaceful.
Right.
Now, for those in the chat, I have to read something real quick. That's part of the Copyright Act. That piece was part of the Copyright Act 1976. I used it for educational purposes and to get some context. Do that so I don't get sued.
Right.
That actually came from CNN. And when I first seen it, now, we all know what allegedly happened. But when I first seen it and seen them getting escorted out so peacefully,
Right.
I was shocked. Because I'm like, okay, why they didn't. Now, I did get a chance to watch some of the, when they came back in chambers, the congressman. And I was shocked that they even went back in after having that incident go on prior. They had them go back in chambers. So it looked like they just escorted them out, and that's what they did. They escorted them out.
Right.
They were not in cuffs. They were not in zip ties. They basically was told, get the hell out of our building and go home and do whatever.
We had this talk before. Do you think that they had to have permits? Like they had somebody that we don't know, some entity organized this, right? There's no way that many people come together on one accord and there's not organization in different places, right? So my whole thing, I think we talked about it before, was I have to believe that they had permits to get there because Washington, D.C., as we all know, is one of the most secure places. Should be one of the most secure places on earth. And I don't care if you have 100,000 different phones in an area, they're gonna know there. There's gonna be like if a whole bunch of cars come into Union, New Jersey, they're gonna know that there's a whole bunch of extra people in there. Just from traffic cameras, traffic patterns, all of that alone would dictate that.
I believe, because, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I believe post 9/11, with the political climate the way it is, half the country voted for this guy, a little bit more than half voted for this guy. With the runoff election in Georgia that day, or the day after,
day before,
with knowing that the electoral vote has to be counted in the Senate.
Right.
On that day.
There's no way in hell that this should have happened.
No way in hell it should have happened.
This is a security disaster. I know a lot of people may be like, well, the chief, these cops were Trump supporters. I don't care whose supporters they were. This should not have happened.
Right.
And this was actually, in my opinion, it was a setup from the word go.
Of course.
Something's not right with this to me. I hate to say I'm not. Listen. You can call me conspiracy theorist. You what? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm basing off of history. If you look at what happened, you can't even go to D.C. in front of the Capitol without your picture being taken.
Right.
It's cameras everywhere. You got buildings. You got buildings that got motion detectors, heat sensors that'll know if you got a nuclear bomb with radiation getting close to these buildings. Like, let's knock it off.
Shit now, though, Q. I wonder about it. 2 hours for anybody to get there.
And then you had Pence, and then you had the vice president there, so he's secured by Marine One.
Right.
Somebody said, "What? Where was the Secret Service at? The president, the vice president there. The Secret
They were
Service
there.
got to be there.
There's no. They was there. They're all over the city.
2 and
But
3
even if
there.
you look
gotta
at it,
be there with 2 and 3.
he's way more than people than that. He's the second most powerful. He got way more than two
And
security.
this goes back to what I
No, I'm
said
saying
about.
the second and third in line.
Look, this
Oh
goes
yeah,
back to what I said.
yes, you're correct.
That Saturday, Nancy Pelosi's house, she's the third in line.
Right.
Mitch McConnell's fourth.
Yeah.
Their house was broken into, vandalized, whatever we want to say it, the prior weekend.
Yeah.
And now, after that, what they had Thursday, this was Wednesday, so Thursday or Friday, that's when they said some hecklers ran down on Lindsey Graham at the airport.
Yeah.
Listen, this is what you like, agitators, and I think it's just a sign of how we are controlled by information and propaganda, right? Like, even going back to 9/11, who didn't think before 9/11 that if a plane tried to run into a building, they would scramble some jets and drop him before he could get where he wanted to go? If a plane is flying in our airspace for an hour without no radio silence and kind of out of control, who didn't think they would scramble a jet and take it down? I did. Who didn't?
Right.
Who would think that it would take that long that you could actually do that without people coming from all directions and trying to stop it? But that shows the court. That's why you know it's coordination.
Yeah, people. It has to be coordinated and put together. Like you said, just people are flying in from everywhere. There's people who the FBI may not be. They may not be on a watch list necessarily, but they're monitoring because they're part of certain groups and certain affiliations and certain patterns. Believe me, people know when there's only one airport in that area, or there's two. You get Baltimore too, right? But
Everybody knows Dulles. That's
right.
like, the airport.
So like everybody, there had to be a whole bunch of people coming in. They buying tickets on a whim because they said they set the rally up maybe less than 10 days before that. So you understand people are coming into your area. There's no way that they didn't know these things. They knew. And again, do I think that? See, here's a tricky question, right? Who did the Republicans or did the Trump people know that they would do this? Or did you have agitators and provocateurs who knew that they could infiltrate the crowd and start getting crazy like that way, right? And drive it towards a way that makes it look wild. Because for the most part, right, we got to look, no matter how you feel about Trump or anything, for the most part, his rallies and things that he puts together, they're nonviolent. They're old white people, they're not like... They ain't mixing it up. They may be loud and yelling, but they're not really like, they ain't getting into it with a lot of people, And now we getting into a sticky situation because I can't say either way. Is it this way or is it that way? Did he know this was going to happen? If he said he started using trigger words and we're going to march down there and we're going to do this and we're going to do that.
I'm going to ask you guys a question. Did either one of y'all participate in any of the BLM rallies this year?
No.
Well, I went to one of them, right? And really nice one, really good one. Message was good, right? I do believe that it is provocateurs in the crowd at those and at Trump's rally.
Right.
I just because and I know that I could be naive. Like I always say, I'm a err on the side of my naivety, if that's a word, because I see it. I know some people that support Trump, and I listen to them. I'm able to hear what they're saying, and I'm able to hear what a lot of people on the Democratic side are saying, and it's like y'all saying the same thing, but it's like the polarization of the media and how, like Tariq said, you have this wedge that's being driven. Like it's no independent media anymore. One of these stations, one station is quote unquote the Republican station, the other two is quote unquote the Democrat station, and you're getting a lot of opinionated stuff that's being told as news, and it's not really news.
Right.
But one big question I wanted to ask you guys: Here goes Seek Rooms. Seek Rooms, what's going on, brother?
Okay,
What-
yeah.
Man, listen.
What,
What's good,
one
brothers?
question. Before I give Seek Rooms the floor, because I'm gonna give him some time to talk about everything. 'Cause I know he knows exactly kind of where I was at. But one issue that I was upset about this weekend is them taking him off Twitter and Facebook, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. What a lot of people don't know is that Trump been going at the big tech companies. He's been trying to get Section 230 repealed because it gives them carte blanche. Like if somebody does something, they can't get sued. They basically are more powerful than the government. And actually, what's interesting is President-elect Biden actually agrees with Trump on this. So he's going to fight against it too. And those of us that have been watching Trump, he made Twitter. He built that platform for Jack. He made that man so much money, ain't even funny.
Yep.
Why this? Why would it be this to be the one act to finally get him off of Twitter? And
Tom was right.
that just don't sit with me well. Like all the stuff he said, shithole countries, all this stuff. And y'all say this was inciting? And then when I looked at those transcripts, I said, come on now. But that's just me. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I mean, it's very interesting. Look, I can send you guys the link for and get to understand about Section 230 and what it means for these tech companies. It's basically 6 companies that run the world right now. And they basically have a monopoly on the information. I mean, we all mess with social media. We get suspended for saying the N-word.
Right. But this is my whole thing about 230, though. And this is my take on it.
Yeah.
And this is how I understand it. It's like being able to sue Ma Bell because you're getting crank callers and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
they gave them protection. They gave them protections that they're using against them.
Yeah.
So our brother C Grooms just entered. C Grooms, I showed the brothers something. I don't know if you've seen the video, but I'm gonna show the video again so you could see something.
We will not give up.
Y'all come in! And next time we come back, we won't be peaceful! Yeah! You better lay down your weapons next time we come back!
We're getting our country back, baby.
Is anybody forcing you guys out? You're thinking bad, but we're not hard!
Beer. Let's go get a beer and then come back.
And then
Now that's part of the Copyright Act. I gotta say it. C Grooms, I got that courtesy of beautiful CNN, which I was shocked.
Right.
And one of our protesters said, "Next time we come back, we won't be peaceful." C Grooms, we done talked about January 6th. We all knew January 6th was going to be here. We all knew what was going to take place in the chambers. What's your take on everything, brother? Like, you know.
I don't know. It's a lot to take in. You know, I saw that video, definitely. Damn, I don't even know what to say because I've seen a couple of other videos where they actually got let into the facilities. You know, and I heard that they had a permit, so not on the ground to do the actual like a protest type of march.
You breaking up,
And they got let in, breaking up.
Yeah.
They got permission.
Is it in your headphones?
I don't know. Let me see. I'm sorry. How about now?
It's probably the computer is still doing it.
Good.
You're a little choppy.
It's still doing it a little bit. But you could try
Okay.
it. Try to you know.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the video, and it was disturbing. You know, I've seen some other videos where people had actually got led onto the grounds. I know they had a permit, you know, to protest, but not on the Capitol grounds. You know, that's a federal building, so it was kind of strange to see them in the Capitol, and you know, it's a federal crime. Like you're not supposed to be up in there. So was they making America great again by doing all of it? But what did they accomplish? I don't know.
They ostracized their boy. They
What-
castrated him. I'm convinced of that. He castrated now. He useless. He ain't knocking nothing up no more.
I mean, if the boogeyman is no longer the boogeyman, who's gonna be the boogeyman now?
Right.
It
That's a
don't
good
matter
question.
because they just out there.
I mean, half the country allegedly is divided. This move was, I won't say it was a move on a chessboard, but this move was not the greatest of moves that a person could have done. So I don't, like I said, I don't even listen to what he said. We're gonna go down to the Capitol. I mean, I've heard politicians literally say we're gonna storm down there, or we're gonna march and we're gonna be heard. I mean, I just think that it's a weird thing that happened. I mean, it's weird.
He's not a mastermind for sure. But let me do this. Where we going? Where we going?
Seek rules, you gotta answer that one. I have no idea where we going.
Well, you know what? I don't even know where we going at. I don't know where we going at this point. Do you think that he incited the riot?
I don't think so.
I mean, in your
It
heart,
was planned.
do y'all think that?
No.
No.
Planned.
I mean, Trump has been on Twitter 4 years. Like he said, anything that you could say, he done said.
I think
So,
a Seek rules. Before you join the Seek rules, I think it's some serious provocateurs on both sides that literally want to see a war. Like,
Yep.
I believe it's calculated though. Like, it's a secret organization like in the shadows that know how to infiltrate these groups. Because I was at a BLM rally, yo. Most people at the BLM rally, if they're not doing it, they're cheering and they just talking, conversating with each other about what's going on. But then you got them people that spray painting, breaking shit.
Right.
Like, it's a strange thing, man. It's strange things going on.
I cannot believe that he would. I don't think he would knowing. Again, I think he wanted them to go down there, but I don't think he knew that would unfold. That was just like nobody could really see that. Like that was. I'm pretty sure everybody here had the same reaction when you heard like they're running in a building. You're like, what? Wait, what the hell are you talking about? It seemed so far fetched, and but again, like I said, that speaks towards the mob mentality. If we believe in provocateurs and all of that type of stuff, we only know you only need one or two to get it started. Now everybody's following. What'd you say?
They came prepared though.
I mean, it's a lot of collaboration and coordination going on behind the scenes, and then it's probably a lot of crossing and double crossing too. You know, to get everybody there, and then to get them to, like again, he would have to know that this wasn't going to end up good. Like if they went in the building, there was no good outcome from that, right? Like nothing good could have came from that. So I don't think he would want that per se. He might want him to go make a scene and go be loud, and you know, they was there. That's one thing. Another thing too, man. He got some serious supporters, man. Like there was a lot of people out there, man. It was a lot of people out there.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is why he's of the opinion that he got robbed.
Yeah.
Because his rallies are in the tens and 20,000s.
They crazy.
If you look at President-elect Biden's rallies, they didn't have a lot of people showing up, right. And it's so much so that you had people saying, "Oh, the Democrats is at home or somewhere with a mask on, and the Republicans is out with masks off." I mean, we've literally seen every situation be politicized in this country during this cycle. Like everything, a mask, COVID, uh, you're dumb, you're educated. We didn't even talk about the race issue yet. How that has got so politicized that we think every white person that disagrees with us is racist,
Right.
or we think every white or cop or this everything's politicized. So it's like we're like in the matrix right now.
But that's the media. That's the wedge we was talking about. They're just driving it through, and right now it's making more space. Every push and pull is making more space because there, we can't speak about policy. We can't speak about a lot of stuff. All of this shit is just like popularity contests and high school. It's high school type of behavior almost. You know how people are making decisions with their actual life.
Yeah.
AC Grooms, you keep freezing up too. I know he wanted to get it in today, man.
Yeah, but listen, man, this about the polarization. I can't even put it on the media no more because people go and find what they want to hear. You don't have to do anything to them; they come to you.
Yeah.
They want to go. Everybody want to go and find what they want to hear.
But most people, right, who are not using channel Fox News or MSNBC, they're of the mindset like us. They understand that there's bullshit on both sides, right? And a lot of people aren't willing to do that. A lot of people think what we do or how we consume information on YouTube or sources like that, they think that's like some witchcraft type of deal. Like they don't believe in people who have real news on you. They don't believe like you could get accurate information from something on YouTube or another source that's not CNN, NBC, Fox News. They don't believe you can get that accurate information. And that's what they rely on. People, it's much easier to just turn on Fox News if you want to hear that than, really go and find a credible source if you want to go online and look into it. It's much easier to do that. And that's what they do.
Yeah.
Are we good now?
Oh, you good now? You
we
really
good now?
How you
rebooted the modem?
It's on a little delay, but you good now. I can hear you good. How you feel about the impeachment on Wednesday? They said they're going to vote for impeachment on Wednesday.
I don't know why they're doing that. I mean, it seems like I don't understand the point of it. Like, there's 9 days left for the man. What are y'all doing? 9 days. But you took 9 months to get everybody their checks, but you gonna impeach a man in 9 days.
For what?
I don't get it.
They were saying he can't run again that's why they really want to do it. He can't run in 2024 if they impeach him or they charge him with something or he can't run. Yes, sir.
Brian, let me ask you a question. If they impeach him, right? Joe Biden might pardon him. And it's not too far-fetched. Joe Biden is the most Joe Biden might be the most closest Democratic president that we're about to get that's close to the Republican Party.
Right.
Those are his guys.
Yeah.
If you understand Biden, he's more Republican than the Democratic Party may want to admit.
Right.
So to save the embarrassment, I believe that Joe Biden might step in and be like, he could do it now. He could just say enough is enough. Don't do it.
Right.
Do y'all think he could get it? You think they could get it done in 9 days?
No. They're not the
So
Congress is not even open for 8 days.
Right. So what are they trying to do?
I believe they're trying to embarrass him. I believe that they're trying to humiliate him. I believe that they are literally trying to tell us the American people what we want, and that's not what the American people. I hate to say it, The American people want their damn money right now.
Right.
Jokers want that money. Jokers want that stimulus money. We
Let
can,
me tell you,
look, we can play if we want to. You keep messing with their money, they're gonna keep breaking in your house. Like, that's why I keep saying that when Pelosi's house got broken into and then Mitch McConnell, that's not his supporters.
Right.
Those are provocateurs that's telling y'all we sick of y'all shit.
Right.
Right.
That's see, and this is where, and I know that a lot of people don't like my opinion with this one. When we get on the race issue, let's get something straight. MAGA walked through a hood to get to the Capitol building.
They ain't go through Southeast.
It's a hood they went through.
They probably went through the other end.
They ain't go through Southeast, baby. They came through Northwest.
If it was,
Yeah, they went through Northwest.
yeah, you're right, Tariq.
Yeah.
They ain't go to South.
15th
But
and
look,
K.
if my thing
They
is
went through Northwest, yo.
my thing, and this is why I always try to say, as black people, this ain't really our fight, because MAGA's not thinking about us. I'm telling you,
it's
they're
coming.
not. MAGA is mad at this government because this government has gotten, in their opinion, in bed with China. And on that side, they feel like Trump has gotten in bed with Russia. That's all. If you look at it, that's all it is. It's more of who you want to be your daddy. You want Russia to be your daddy, or you want China to be your daddy.
Yep. That's a
I
fact.
thought China was already our daddy. Anybody got a silverware in the house? You know, you got some silverware. Everybody got Chinese silverware. You got a fork in there, don't you?
I mean, that's and look, and I'm just being honest. That's the way I look at it. If you really listen to both sides, like I said earlier, one saying y'all fascists, the other side saying y'all Marxists, one saying you selling the country to China, the other one saying you in bed with Russia. What am I supposed to believe? I just want reparations for my people.
That's it.
That's it. That, you know, and it's like where to me, we're stuck in the middle, actually.
Listen, I think this is why I think we not. Because right now they mad at the government. But then when they feel as though we got too much influence on the government, then who they gonna be mad at?
Yeah, but that's why I don't like them putting up all them the Stacey Abrams stuff, all of that stuff that, see, I think white America internalized a lot of their pain with Barack Obama, and it turned a lot of people against, like, you know, you look at Obama for the most part, no matter what we feel about him politically, right? He a harmless dude, you know. He
Right, what you mad at him for?
Like, what would you be mad at him for? You know, he do things the right way. He went to, you know, all of that stuff, and people became frustrated with the image of him. It wasn't anything he necessarily did or did not do, because we all feel as black people that he didn't do shit for us. So, like, if we feel like that, why would y'all be mad at him? We looking at it like, you know, y'all got the benefit of the doubt and y'all got the better end of the stick as is. But I think they internalized a lot of that, and I think there's a big reason why they put a lot of black faces on a lot of stuff right now. And it bothers me that people don't see that, because, again, I had posted some pictures with Stacey Abrams. Somebody put her on a candle like she was like a saint or something, like they was praying to her or something like that. I just felt that was just like so ridiculous. Like, why would somebody do that? And again, that's an image that's going to be shared on all of these platforms millions of times, and people are going to see it and resent it. And that's why they resent a lot of black. You know, Stacey. We looking at Stacey couldn't save her damn self. You know, how did she save anybody? You know how and,
coming back. You know that's my girl. She coming back, baby.
Listen, I hope so. But Jesus, you know, I think that's a lot of this stuff has to do with, because, like you said, we don't have nothing to do with any of this. Even the counties, a lot of these people are fighting over, like, getting recounts in. They're not our counties. You know what I'm saying? It's not like where we would be at or where we're a big demographic at. We're not even in these places. So why are we doing that?
I think that Brian, you just brought up something that I think that most American people, let alone voters, really understand that there are always, I won't go say it to say it is fraud, but there are always some improprieties with voting. And I think that a lot of people were under the guise that voting, the way voting is, it's kind of like a perfect science because of what, it's 2021.
Right.
So it's easy. I think a lot of people don't understand that you could always cheat, so to say, in voting. Now, to say it's a big conspiracy with voting machines, now that's on a different level. This is what he accused them of doing. And like I said, it's an interesting accusation. That's all I'll say.
Did you see the video where they actually had like a hearing and they
Yeah,
showed the votes from under the table?
yeah,
They was talking about the protocol. I mean, that looks strange. Everybody got kicked out of the room and two people stayed and they was counting votes when nobody was supposed to be counting and they
yeah,
pulled them out from under the table. That looked kind of strange to me.
yeah,
Not to say that was like, because you're supposed to have a overseer basically when they're counting,
Hmm.
and they didn't do that. So I'm not saying it's fraud, but you did violate a protocol. So at the minimum, they should have did that as a recount, and that was in Georgia, and Trump was
That was in
ahead
one of the
for a
major
while.
counties. Yeah,
That was a major county, and
like
the,
Fulton or
the
something.
they got caught on camera in the arena. It was the arena camera. It had anything to do with a political base. That was a third party camera,
Right.
and they caught them. So I don't, they didn't act on that. I mean, Trump was kind of bugged out. Brian just talked about that. Most of the counties where they wanted to recount was not, our demographic, but he went on record as to say that, Philadelphia and Detroit, that there was fraud in those areas, and that's mostly black people,
That's all black
that
people.
live
But that's
there.
what he got to do. He got
Yeah,
to go
so
after the vote that made him lose. That's what he got to do.
he thinks
What
we
else
made him lose. That's crazy. But
yeah. I
hey,
think
75 million people voted with the man. So I don't know.
That's right.
Wasn't that more than Obama?
75 million.
That's
both
the
both
most
of them
ever.
got
What we gonna
both of
do with
them
him? That's the
both
question.
of them. See, Grooms. Both of them got more votes than President Obama.
Ever. Those are the two
Okay.
most largest tallies ever.
Everybody
What
synced
does
up.
that tell you? That should tell us a
Everybody
lot, man.
And it tells me both of them's cheating. That's what it
Because I
tells me.
know we
I
was out in numbers for Obama. We was out in numbers, just
Right.
in general. So they got 75 and 79 million. Come on.
Let me
man.
tell you this though. He did that because black people do understand the power of their vote now.
Right.
Between Obama and this right here, I think and that's what
I had a discussion with one of my friends. He's we took a little statistics class back in the day, and we was just talking about just because the way mathematics is a science, if people don't understand that, right? And it's one of the only perfect sciences because numbers are going to be what they are. You can't change them from what they are. And mathematically, it's damn near impossible to say that 150 million people voted. When we talk about, people who don't vote, ineligible voters, children, illegals, like everybody, it's damn near impossible that we're saying 45% of the country voted. Like, that's damn near impossible, right? Especially with
45. I mean, how many people we got here? 350 million. So they saying 150 out of 350 voted.
yeah,
That's crazy.
that's crazy,
So
right?
half of the country voted.
Right.
For
But
some
you
two
can
people
go
do more than that.
but you can go to areas, right? Let's say we go to a hood somewhere, right? Do you think half the people voted? Like half.
Hell no.
Like, right. So like where are all of these like statistically, right? When we talking just about numbers, it's not impossible, but it is highly, 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 highly unlikely and very, very suspicious for me as a person who's just crunching numbers, right? We talk about kids who aren't eligible to vote. We talk about college kids who not really interested in voting. Those are a lot of your numbers right there, right? And again, I'm not a scientist. I do understand how numbers work. It's very, very suspicious when we talk about that many people in an election. Now, piggybacking to something I said earlier, right? And what is something you said, Q, about why he feels he got cheated. I don't think Biden could draw a crowd like that. Like he on a whim in
No,
10
no, no, no,
days.
no, no, no. I live in an area that I'm 15 minutes from Joe Biden's hometown. I live 15 minutes from Scranton. What they did, what him and Kamala Harris did, which was very strategic. He never went to his hometown. She did.
Okay.
But he would go to the other areas around here, which are red. See, I always call Pennsylvania a purple state because you literally in Pennsylvania got a mixture of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So what they would do is they went to this one particular town, I'm not going to name, and he was there. He couldn't even get to his rally because it was Trump supporters lined up all across the road.
Right.
He could not get there. Like he had to be there at 2:00. They flew him in. He couldn't get to the place because the Trump supporters was there so deep that he never was able to meet his people and have a rally. So us saying that, and this is something that all the media said with these rallies. I'm not saying it was fraud because I don't want to put that aspersion without enough proof. But some things happened in this election that they're gonna be talking about for a long time.
Yeah.
So y'all saying
I'm with Brian. 150 million, man. 150 million people voted. I don't know, man. 150
That's a lot
million.
of people. That's a lot of people. I don't care
Almost
what's going on.
140 million people voted. I don't know, man.
See, one of the biggest things that made me raise my eyebrows is that I got a mail-in vote, right? But I actually lived right across the street from the polling place. So you could have mailed your vote in. The way Pennsylvania is, you could have mailed your vote in that night, as long as it was postmarked that night, and still voted. So you could have double dipped if that's what you was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
You could have done it and nobody knew you did it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying people did it. I'm not going that far and saying people did it.
it.
But I'm saying you
People
could
did it.
have done it.
They did it.
And
the question is if enough did it.
Knowing how many people it is in this country, and they were already saying prior to this election, because of COVID, it's going to take months to count mail-in votes. They had the mail-in votes counted by 3 days in the whole country. That's impossible to count that many votes.
Right. And the most votes ever.
Who's counting? Each state.
Right.
Shit, we should have been at the Capitol then, y'all. What y'all talking about?
No.
I ain't want no parts of them cameras that was there.
See, I don't want nobody to think we conspiracy theorists, but just think about it. He had 80 million people vote for him. He had 74 million people, right? So this is where we come with the number 150 billion people voted. Let's just say, for lack of better words, 100 mail-in votes was in million. You know how long it's gonna take to count 100 physically? We don't do this stuff by computer, y'all, or scanner.
Right.
You gotta physically count.
Right. And one
the
night.
thing is, they haven't counted for a while though. I think
Tariq,
some shit going on.
Tariq. Now, some states you can mail and vote 2 weeks prior to the election. Tariq, they were announced the winner by the media by Saturday.
Right.
Hey, I know some people did some shit. I ain't trying to deny that.
How long would it take you to count?
I know some people did some shit.
How long would it take to count 100,000 pieces of paper? Like
what?
Like you can't,
by
right?
Yourself?
Mind you, no, but we don't have a whole group of people. We only have a small group of people because we got to keep things secure, right? So we don't have 1,000 people to count all these.
Brian, let
room.
me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
We're all brothers of a certain age. You my younger cousin, and I know Tariq and C. Grooms is about my age. Do you know how hard it is to count $1,000 in singles?
Right.
How you know how to do that?
Do you know how a stack look? Y'all seen them go-go bars? I ain't saying y'all been in them, but y'all just seen them. You know how hard it is for them girls to count them singles and to just
Accurately.
get them all accurately? Y'all know what they say. Girl, help me count this.
Right. Like you said, there's no Scantron, there's no electronic, like manually, like to count. Mind you, let's say we got 5 people in a room. We got 100,000 pieces of paper. How long do you think that's gonna take us? That's gonna take us like days, because it got to be counted, then it got to be registered. Count like every piece of paper. Like I honestly didn't think.
And then on top of
Well,
that,
you're not even counting. You got to separate it first.
yeah,
Right.
You know, Biden on one side, Trump on the other.
Right.
Then you got to count it.
Right.
And don't be like me, how I voted, and I know a lot of people that voted that way. I downvoted. I left it blank. So
you reading a blank paper.
yeah, I left it blank. I voted locally. I have no problem telling nobody that. I voted locally.
Right.
That's more
Voted
important than
locally.
me.
Yep.
Yeah. But so I'm not saying that it. Listen, man. Listen.
I'll say it. You don't have to say it. I'll say it.
Hey, it's out there. The fraud is out there. But what's their plan, though? Like, okay, you want to impeach Trump. You don't want him to run again. All right, whatever. Who should we be voting for in 2024 then? Who y'all presenting to the people that we supposed to run out to the polls and vote since you're trying to keep Trump out? Because, you know, if that many people came, the Republican Party is not messing with him. He could be an independent and still get like 40, 50 million people rocking with him. He could split the vote at the minimum. So who we supposed to vote for in 2024?
Yeah, they
Kamala
scared
Harris.
to death of him.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris, she barely made it on her own the first time. So what is she going to do as vice president to secure our faith to vote for her to be president? Because she's a woman? That's not enough.
Well, yeah,
That's
that's identity politics right now. That may be enough to get her out. Like, this is what got Biden in. Just Trump's polarizing, status, bro. He didn't. Again, we ain't at war
Biden
with
is a
nobody. People making money right now. Everybody should be fairly happy. Besides COVID, if COVID wasn't here, everybody in this country is probably pretty happy with the way things going, right?
Except for politics.
Right.
Well, we ain't never happy with that because we understand what it is and what it is not. But as far as on a day-to-day, again, I don't know if y'all have sons or daughters, but that's a little older. They not about to ship them overseas to go fight in some frivolous war. Again, everybody, if you got 401ks and savings, you watching it shoot through the roof. Everything is pretty much on the up and up here right now, besides, the regular stuff.
And that's another thing that we're going to have to address. And hopefully in the next month or so, we'll get back together, us four, and talk about when President Biden comes in office, those of us that understand what he's about in the global agenda, will we be back in war? Will those 401ks be back in jeopardy? This is what we got to understand, is that Trump, people could use the racist rhetoric all they want, but Trump was a nationalist. Now we're going back to getting back on the global agenda and understanding who we are in the world scheme of things, the globe. Trump ain't care about all that. Trump just wanted America first. I know a lot of people would be like, well, America first meant the white man and this, that. You could think what you want to think. I'm just saying, if President Biden is a globalist and we're going to be back as a player on the globe, on the world stage, and that means we're going to be running around here policing. That means we're going to be Big Brother again. That means we're going to be more in bed with China. And that might mean we will be in war. We might be trying to invade Iran. I don't know. I'm just speaking.
We weren't at war the last war. That's interesting, though. That's a great point. I mean, we got silent wars all over the place, but
of course,
not that the media, Yeah, he didn't. Right, he wasn't assassinating leaders. I mean, of course they all do that. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Right.
Like that's your role, but it wasn't a war in the media. How it was under the previous administrations. We was always in somebody's country. We got bases all over the world. I mean, that's
Hmm.
just how politics is. I think Trump being in there just kind of woke all of them up. Like he
I'm
didn't belong there. He wasn't a politician. He didn't belong there.
I'm gonna ask you guys that. I don't know if you guys know, but Fox News has been kicking their butt for the last 2-3 years, as far as the most viewed news network, which is
They've been
strange,
the
right?
most before
So
before
I'm
Trump.
gonna ask you guys a question. Do you think that the news is going to cover President Biden the same way they covered Trump?
No.
It's all gonna flip flop. It's gonna flip flop.
Yeah,
Fox
that's a
gonna,
tough question
Fox
because
gonna run
will
them down
they?
every day. CNN gonna pump them up every day.
Yeah, but in a way that they're not. They may cover him, but they're never gonna garner the ratings like he had. Like
No.
people tune in just to really hear what he said or get context on a tweet, or people they will never garner any ratings like they did. That's why I'd be surprised that they got him out of here so quick. They may not be done with him just yet
Let me
because
tell you something. Let me tell you what got me watching Fox News. After 9/11, turned into a news junkie, right? So I'm watching news all the time. What was the most entertaining news? It was Fox, because they cut loose. Like, oh shit, they do that here. Like I watch these motherfuckers because they cut loose. They broke the rules in terms of etiquette, right?
Yep.
And then everybody followed. That's why because they broke the etiquette rules, and they throw their opinion out. They say what they want. I mean, I know when I was coming up, like Brokaw and them, like, who is this puppet? Why he just acting like he don't know nothing? He don't know what's going on. Who is this? They used to irritate me when I was young because they just was so, just couldn't tell nothing. But Fox broke all that.
I think one of the things that they're going to do, I think all of them is going to tone it down, because I don't think Biden is actually going to be as vocal. I think Biden is not going to be seen a lot. I really don't. I think he might talk to the media probably once a week at best.
He want to make it through his term.
And we all know that the vice president is basically somebody that gets sent on meet and greets and stuff like that. So she's not going to be as vocal as she was. She had more power as a senator than she's going to basically have as the vice president, which is interesting.
She know Biden doing one term.
They keep throwing that 25th Amendment out too.
And see, Grooms, that was something I picked up on with Pelosi.
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, Pelosi keeps saying 25th Amendment. Does she really want that for Pence to take over for Trump, or does she want that for Kamala to take over Biden, and then she'll step in there and she'll be the vice president?
But I thought, is she over Schumer?
Yeah.
For the majority leader,
Yeah.
she is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Only because
Kamala,
only because
she
she's the
became
House
president.
Speaker. Yeah.
She's the House Speaker, so Kamala will become president.
Yeah.
When you invoke the 25th Amendment, Biden steps aside, resigns. She becomes president. Pelosi becomes vice president. Everybody bumps up one.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's gonna make it through the full term because he looks ill now.
He is.
He does. He's been ailing for a while. So we've seen some of his speeches. He just some days he's coherent, and then most days he's not. What is he saying?
On a timeline scale, right? It doesn't make sense. They can't even take a vote on impeachment until I believe it's the 18th or the 19th. So like you can't even get a vote on it until the day before. So like why are they keep pressing in this 25th Amendment issue?
Why would they?
They'll call them out. They'll make them come out. They'll make them come and vote. They basically an emergency session. It's basically what she's trying to imply.
Check out how stupid it is. So, check real deal. Trump cabinet is resigning, right? They already delayed the transition, right? And you should be focusing on getting your cabinet together and up and running instead of talking about Trump because you already behind the 8 ball. You're not even going to have some cabinet members to talk to in the transition, and you want to waste time on Trump?
Tariq,
it makes no sense.
Tariq, one of the key words that you said, and we want to be very thought provocative people, but one of the key words that you said, Tariq, is that they neutered him, and it's like, as we say, kick a dog while they down, huh? And it's like, why? Why would you mar his inauguration with this guy's impeachment?
Let him go.
What's going on behind the scenes that y'all have to impeach this man?
They scared to death of him.
Now I do believe that he got some dirt on all of them. I believe that.
He had dirt before he got in office.
Yeah.
America's sleight of hand game is second to none. Hold on. And
that's without question.
America's sleight of hand game is second to none. So I can't sit here and honestly think that they have no idea. Where the hell is it? I done lost the thing.
Hey Brian, the thing that I think that that they finally learned from all this is that, to me, Trump had this election in the bag, and the Dems kept falling for it and kept saying stuff. And then they realized, somebody finally told them, shut up and let him F himself.
Right.
And basically the COVID, him saying certain things was like was really why he lost the election. Let's be honest. COVID, the way the COVID was spent and his response, it made people feel like he was responsible for COVID, basically.
But that's another reason he couldn't win again. Because when he lost, he disappeared. He showed no concern for the people, and there's so many people that's what I'm saying. He the biggest political dummy ever.
Listen,
but he just know how to influence people.
His people don't care about that. The majority of the people who vote for him, like the people who will follow him if he is independent, they don't care about that at all. Like you 100% right, but that ain't gonna move the needle for them, and that's why he's dangerous to them. That's why I think they really want to just get him out of there.
To be honest, and I know C. Grooms is a guy that loves articles like the Confederacy, it's not the Confederacy. C. Grooms loves. I know C. Grooms is into the Constitution, stuff like that. That's why the words that these people use are key. Trump literally said that they are attacking the Republic. We got to be mindful of these words, man, because this is a republic. And when you use these words to quote unquote patriots, people that understand the Constitution, this is why I keep saying these two sides is playing a dangerous game against each other. And you got nuts out here, man, that, okay, you coming, for example, I know a lot of people that carries Second Amendment guys. They ain't letting you take their guns, yo.
All right.
You're taking their guns.
Well, the Second Amendment is off the table. Like, that's not going anywhere. I mean, that's without question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
You're not doing it.
So what do y'all think about the and I know it's getting kind of late, and I know we're gonna wrap it up soon, but what do y'all think about the report that the FBI said it's going to be armed protests in 50 states? I think that's bogus as hell.
They better keep that shit in the right spot,
listen, Tariq, armed protests at every capital in 50 states. Every state ain't open carry.
Right, you can't do that.
Yo, but
we got enough of them though.
I really believe, at some point, because all of this shit always turn back to race. I don't care what nobody say. Every time it turn back to race somehow. Even if the shit is overt, it ain't put out there like that. You know, and I just
Well,
it's like watching your little brother go outside and start a fight that you know you're gonna have to finish.
Well, Tariq, the funny thing that you said that is when you have a president-elect that openly said about what happened at the Capitol building, saying if it had been black people, it would have been dealt differently. That's a problem. He said it. He said if it had been black people, it would have been dealt differently. That's telling you right there. It's a double standard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we all, heard all the stuff like if, and I really didn't want to get into the if thing because we already know it is. First of all, I'm not storming the Capitol. I know y'all three ain't either, so that's not going to happen.
I don't got time for that part, though.
If anything, I might have my camera out taking pictures of certain stuff, seeing if they got picture of Christopher Addicts up in there. I want to know what they don't tell us. That's what I'm coming here for.
I wouldn't go to the Capitol for that. That's for sure.
Library of Congress, right?
Library of Congress. Now, if you say let's protest and go up in there, see all of the stuff they done stole,
Right.
They don't originate nothing. Like it's all copies for them. Like we own this because you registered it with us. That type of stuff. But yeah, you got to look out for the wordplay. The republic for which it stands. That's deep. Like you telling patriots, quote unquote, yeah, you're attacking the republic. I was scratching my head on that.
Yeah. And that's why I always say that the rhetoric that they've used, and it basically started. It started during President Obama's second term when the Tea Party started going at him. If you
What
listen
happened to them?
The Republican Party put a squash to it. They said, "Oh no, we can't mess with y'all. Y'all ain't gonna come in here and do this to us."
They still get what they call now the Freedom Caucus.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Okay, they rebranded. Okay.
That's the Freedom Caucus.
Okay. That makes sense.
They rebranded, but we won't rebrand that defund the police shit. Fuck that.
So the second term is when I noticed the wordplay, and I'm like, yo. And I understand, I've been understanding what neoliberal and all, but when you start talking about that republic stuff,
that's a different breed of citizen, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Yeah,
now you talk and y'all hear it in the news. You start talking about the sovereignty and all that because at the end of the day, we could continue saying that we won the Civil War, but did we?
Nah, absolutely not. We don't want that.
I don't.
Yeah.
I feel
maybe
like
individuals may want it.
I don't want that.
No.
I don't know what you don't know what's gonna happen at the end. But oh boy, we pushing that right there, I think.
So we gonna close out. Any final thoughts, guys?
Who we voting for 2024 if they're gonna keep pushing Trump away?
Hold up, I got a little funny to close with, right? The stimulus is nothing but a form of money laundering. Okay, that's the little funny for today. It's just money laundering.
Okay, I'm a jump on that train with you, and I'm gonna tell you that the stimulus is